Hello there, welcome back again to my channel. Today is another beautiful day that we are going to start a new topic, and as I told you, we are going to learn a lot on Sheila's world. And today's topic is very interesting because it's something that is so close to my heart. It's something that I deal with every day with my clients, and it's about saving and investment. If you've not subscribed to my channel, kindly consider subscribing because you'll be missing a lot on these topics that are really helpful in your life. So today I'll discuss the importance of having an emergency fund and why you should start up saving, especially on the money market, which is a good place for starting an emergency fund. So please, if you are new, consider subscribing and let's get down to business. I'm going to discuss about unit trust funds, where the money market fund falls under. I know most of you have heard of money market and everyone knows just money market fund, but they don't know that it's just a unit under an umbrella name called unit trust. Under unit trust, you have different portfolios, one of them being the money market fund. Then we have the bond fund, then we have growth fund and equity fund. So all those portfolios, they are differentiated because of their risk profile. The reason why most people consider money market fund is because of the low risk involved in investing in the money market fund. So we'll begin. What are money market funds? Money market funds are basically savings and investment whereby different fund managers invest in treasury bills and treasury bonds. This is basically government lending, whereby sometimes government get to have a project and they intend to borrow from the public. So if you're investing under the money market fund, you'll have that opportunity of in participating in the government funding through the umbrella of unit trust. So it's very important for anyone, whether you are working or doing business, to at least have one of these accounts because they really help. One of the advantages of investing in the money market fund is the advantage of large numbers, pulling together of resources. So you might have your 5,000 or even 500 shillings, but you're able to participate in those funding, and you get to enjoy the interest rates that you cannot get if you are doing it on your own. So it's very important to consider it, especially when you are starting up as a beginner in investing. It's very safe. There's no risk at all, no risk involved, because here it's just lending government and they promise a certain rate of return, which you are guaranteed. It's the only place if you are someone who's conservative or you want to safeguard your principal or that capital that you put in, you are able to invest in. So money market is one of the places where you can easily save for your emergency. We all at some point need to consider having an emergency fund in our families. Why do we need an emergency fund? This is because there are certain things that come up in your life, and they can destabilize everything from all your savings that you've had, all your assets. You'll end up selling assets just because you didn't have a fallback plan. So it's important to have such accounts that can help you through in case you lose your employment, that can take care of you and your family for the next 3 to 6 months. What you need to consider before opening your emergency fund under the money market is, what are your goals? What are your monthly spendings? What are your bills that you are supposed to pay? So you need to total up. If you spend around 100,000 per month, you need to set up a fund that is 3 times 6 to 12 months fund, a fund value that is worth that amount. So we need like 600,000 in your account in case of anything happening. Money that you can easily access, not assets that you will sell. So before you start saving and investing, you have to set up a fund, an emergency fund, just in case of anything. One of the best examples is during the COVID period. Most people lost their jobs, companies closed down, and then bills were still there to be paid. What would you have done if you didn't have such a fund for emergency? So I can tell you, like, even in my life, in my real life, emergency fund has been really helpful because during the corona period, businesses went down, and as you know, we run a family business whereby there were rent to be paid, staff to be paid, and also not to close down the business. Without an emergency fund, we'd have closed down easily. But since we had a money market account, it really came in handy. and we are able to pay our rent and still run our life without any interruption since there was that fund. So it's very important to consider that, because you never know about the future. It's one of the most important things that you must consider in your financial when you want to meet your financial goals. So the advantages I talked about, the importance of pulling together of risk. The other one is the expertise in that professional management of the money. The money is managed by the fund managers that are regulated by the Capital Markets Authority. So you are very sure whenever you want to invest in a money market fund, ensure that the company is regulated. There are some companies that come out lying to people that they're doing investment, but you can't even tell. Those are the scam groups whereby they are not regulated by anybody. Even the government is not aware of them. So ensure that whichever company you open an account with, it's regulated by the Capital Markets Authority. Another example is how affordability. Anyone can open a money market account because of the minimum requirement, the minimum deposit that is required. There are various companies, depending with which company we start with. Every company has their own minimum, and I'll start with the lowest. There is the Zimele Money Market Fund. Understand they start with even 100 shillings. You can open a money market account there, and you are safe. They are also regulated. Another one is ICA Lion, which is one of my best companies. There it's 500 shillings, and there is what we call DigiTrust. DigiTrust is just an online platform that you can easily open an account through your phone, and you start saving and investing. So you're able to build up your investment. As much as the startup deposit is little, make an effort of building on that saving, because you can't say you just want to start with 500 and remain with the 500. So have a goal. What is it that you are saving for? How much do you want to raise? That's how you'll be able to grow your saving. Another advantage is the fact that it's the liquidity. Liquidity is whenever you want your money, it's very easy to withdraw. So you just need to write an email. Like the one I have in ICA Lion, you just need to send an email with your membership number and everything, and request for whatever amount you want to withdraw, and within 2 to 3 days you'll have money in your account. So it's very easy to access your money whenever you have an emergency. So another thing is the fact that you need to have confidence in that it's operated by professionals. So you are not you can't say that I'll lose my money, or this money is diversified. So the company does not just invest in one place, unlike some other investments where when you buy stock, you've just bought, let's say, for Safaricom, and that's all where your money is. When you invest in a money market fund, the funds are diversified. There's a law that says that, they are not supposed to invest all the money in one organization. So there's different percentages that money is spread to various companies where it's invested, or even in government. Even government is not all of it, but part of it is what is invested in the government. So whatever, in case of, let's say, a company collapsing, the company cannot collapse with all your money, because there's that diversification. And like when you keep your money in the bank, now that you are afraid of investing, what if that bank collapses? You will not have anything to fall back on. But when you put in a company like, let's say, ICA Lion, you are likely to have that diversification in your investment. So it is one of the best investment plan that you can start, especially for beginner. If you've never invested anywhere, money market is the place to start. Because of that security, you are sure you cannot lose your money. You're just beginning, you're still learning investment. Then from there we can move to other portfolios. So the second portfolio under the unit trust is the bond market. So bond market also is just what I forgot to say, for money market, you should only invest there when you are considering short period of time, and you're not you don't worry about the returns. The returns might not be high, but anything that comes with the low return, the risk is also low. So if you're someone who's a bit experienced in investment, and you have appetite for high returns, and you don't mind having to take some risks, you can consider bond fund or the equity fund. So equity fund, I'll talk about equity fund first. Equity is basically government securities. the Nairobi Stock Exchange securities, whereby you buy shares. It's basically shares. So with the share, it's really unpredictable. So you can't really tell how much you're going to get, but it might surprise you because the returns sometimes go even above 20%. So if you're someone who's willing to take risk and is looking into long-term investment, because for equity, you can't go in when you are thinking of a short period of time. You can't put your money in an equity fund if you need that money within a year. So it has to be between 3 to 5 years. Then you are willing to risk. So it is just a matter of what is your goal. If your goal is short term, go for money market. If your goal is long term, go for equity market. It's very simple, because there you just need to put your money and forget about where it's invested. That is the work of the fund manager. So you don't have the headache. You just continue with your other job as they invest for you. So with bond fund is still the same, where we invest in the corporates. There's a infrastructure bond, that is government bond, whereby whenever a government is doing a project, they borrow money again from the public. So with bond fund, we have short-term bond, which is 3 years, and also the long-term infrastructure bonds. That is a guaranteed investment, because the government promises or guarantees a certain rate of return within that period. So with bond fund, if you put a lump sum, you can have 2 payments per year, let's say every 6 months, and it's an assured rate of return, because they always float the bond, the infrastructure bond, once in a while, but you have to be really updated. Keep checking the business news if you want to know which bond is currently being floated. So all those are important points to note. Whenever you're looking into bond or equity, think long term, not short term. So another one called growth. Growth fund is where you can switch. You're allowed to have a switch. Let's say your money is in the money market fund. It's where they invest in both. If your money is in the money market fund, and maybe you want to try with the bond fund, so you can actually switch from equity to money market at intervals. But it's allowed, I think, once a year. That's when you can switch. If you had put your money in the money market, the next year you can decide, let me risk with the equity. So it's a balance of both. But all in all, there is what we call there is a tax that is applied on the interest. The tax is not applied on principal, but it's applied on the interest. So whenever you are investing in it, just know that there is a government tax that applies of 15%, and I think all the companies, the fund managers, they charge around 2% management fee per year. The only fund that doesn't have initial fee is the money market, and that's why everyone wants money market. With equity, there's a management fee depending with the company. Bond fund, there's also a management fee. So you need to ask all those questions before investing in any, so that you don't regret at the end. Another thing that you need to know is that requirements for opening the account is very simple. Just need your identification card, your bank details, bank verification details, either a cross check or a copy of ATM, then a passport photo and your KRA pin, and you set up the account. So depending with an organization, like ICA, there's a DigiTrust, which I think I've interacted with my people on Facebook a lot, where we discuss about those online platform that you can easily open an account from wherever you are. So it's very easy to start up, and you are likely to grow your money. So if you don't have any account, if you've not started saving, consider starting with just a basic plan, which is a money market fund. Save, then you will invest later, because saving and investment, you have to save first before you invest. So there is what most people, beginners in saving, in investment, what most beginners do is that they really fear investing. Why should you fear investing? And when you're keeping your money in the bank, there's inflation that is eating on it. So you'd rather put money in the money market fund, where the rate of return is above the inflation rate, because most companies, I can tell you, you don't get below 8% per annum in terms of return, and our current inflation rate is around 6%. So anything above the inflation rate is better than nothing. So instead of fearing and keeping your money in the bank, kindly consider opening an account and move whatever money, even if it's 500 shillings, start with it, and your money will start working for you from the first day, because that is in money market, it's a daily yield thing. Your money grows every time you leave it there. So another mistake that beginners do is you fear starting. You fear starting, or you're waiting for the right time. The right time will never be there. Whatever you have right now, that's why most companies have lowered their minimum deposit for even 100 shillings. Start with 100 bob. Anytime you have extra money, their pay bill number, you just forward to your account. I can tell you, money market has helped me a lot in acquiring everything that I buy. I set a goal per year, like I want to buy this. The best place to open that account for that goal is a money market fund, because that is a place where I'm not able to access the money, but the money is growing, and whenever I need it, I can access it. So it gives you that discipline. It doesn't have an ATM. There's a process in terms of withdrawing. So it's not like you can easily misuse as the same way you can misuse the money when it's in your M-Pesa. So it's very simple. Let's start investing. Start small. Don't take a loan to invest in the money market. Start with what you have. And another thing I'd like to let new investors know is that when you're planning to save and invest, please let savings be the first thing on your whenever you're planning your bills. Save first before you pay any other bill. Because if you say you will pay all your bills, then you save what is remained. Trust me, you will not be able to save. So it's good to start by saving, then pay your other bills. So saving is a way of paying yourself. Why should you pay other people before paying yourself? There's a law that whenever there is a money somewhere that you're not using, it will always find a use. So it's important that it's called Parkinson's law, whereby whatever resources is there, and there's always something to spend money on. So if you don't start saving, you'll find something else that you'll spend on, and you'll end up not saving at all. So it's important, save enough for your retirement, save enough for whatever, so that you don't regret in the future. There are avenues, better ways. Just do your research from companies. I've named like 3 major companies that I know that you can start, but please, there are many other organizations, but just do your research well so that you don't get lost. So I'll repeat the companies. I'll start with my best, where I've been saving and investing for a long time. That is ICA Lion Group. There is Zimele Money Market Fund. We have Britam. We have CIC. So just find out in those companies which one can suit your needs and start up. Don't waste time, and please, I'll see you again in my next topic. Thanks a lot, and please, if you've not subscribed, consider subscribing. This was just a quick one because this is the question I've been asked a lot with people, and I decided why not. Have a good day, and God bless you.